Mom said she had every crack stuffed with rags, and she would wet them down. She'd hang sheets or over everything where dust might come in, but it didn't keep it out. It would come in somewhere.
We didn't know whether we could make a film. We wanted to make a film, but we didn't know whether we actually could, whether there would be any survivors or enough survivors to give the kind of broad narrative that we do in fact have.
That was the 1930s. That's a long time ago, and I was really afraid that that opportunity for us to do that had passed, 18, 19 years earlier.
We rushed in the World War II film to get veterans. This is a decade before, and we realized we'd have to find folks that were children, teenagers during the time. And there was a kind of urgency.
The first thing we did was bring in the local PBS stations. We said, if we have Ken Burns saying, send me your stories, send me your photographs.
I got on camera and made an appeal for pictures, for memories, for folks that were still alive, for maybe motion pictures, home movies that they might have taken.
Hi, I'm Ken Burns, and I'm asking you to help me with a new public television series I'm now working on, The Dust Bowl.
Please send us your stories, your photographs, your grandpa. If you reach out to the community stations all throughout the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma, in Kansas, in Colorado, in New Mexico, and Texas, people responded.
We kind of realized that if we wanted to find the best stories, we had to try to blanket every possible outlet that we could, get every means to let these people know that we were looking for them, because we knew they were out there, but they're not easy to find. We called, I think, hundreds, if not thousands, of senior centers, newspapers, local magazines, museums, libraries, and we asked them to help us because they're the experts. We went to the people here on the ground who know who's out here.
Julie and Susan did an incredible job convening these round tables, and they'd set up in a little town of maybe 500 people, and 25, 30 people show up with their photographs and would tell them their stories. They brought back stories of a couple hundred people. And from that, we decided we do have what we would call critical mass, that we knew that we probably had enough stories from live human beings that are compelling and true to make a film out of.
When we did the on-air appeals at local PBS stations, I received an email from somebody who said, I think you might want to talk to my father-in-law. His father-in-law's nickname was Boots. And I thought, well, that's a good start. It's a great nickname. And I said, well, I'll give Boots a call and see how the conversation goes. And I was on the phone for an hour and a half with Boots. And he told me so many wonderful stories. It was obvious he was a wonderful storyteller and had a lot to share with us.
It'd be still. It'd be just calm as it could be. And then when that dust got there, wham, it would hit you. And it was just a rolling. It was scary. It scared the heck out of us. Mother'd pray about it, And us kids, of course, we were little, and we stayed pretty close to Ma, I guarantee you.
One of the interesting things that happens in the making of the film and in the film itself is that these are really vivid memories, like it was yesterday, recounted by people who are, a fairly young person for us would have been 87, and some were in their high 90s that we were interviewing. But when they started telling the stories, it was like it happened yesterday for them. But because they were now parents and then grandparents and then even great-grandparents, as they're thinking about that situation, you could also feel them having a better understanding of what their parents must have been going through when they were facing the things that they were facing.
Well, it was pretty bad. My mother saved sugar sacks and flour sacks for material to make my panties, and I had a dress made out of flour sacks. It wasn't good percale, it was just cotton that had been printed like little flowers on the sugar sacks.
It's a very interesting thing that was going on with many of those people, who were the age of my grandparents, talking about when they were 8 or 9 so vividly, and they're an old person telling a childhood story.
They've become almost like extended family in many ways. It was a wonderful day today for just that reason, because it was like seeing, aunts and uncles and grandparents and parents that we hadn't seen in a long time, but still have been in close touch with.
Hello. I feel like I know you like you're my grandmother. You're a big star of our film, Imogene, and we're so happy that you're here. Thank you so much.
Now we're back in the Dust Bowl. We're going to the little towns of Amarillo, of Oklahoma City, and other places, and saying, here's what we have. Can we share it first with the survivors? The first showing, let's show the folks who helped us tell this story.
This is a historical account of an often overlooked, much overlooked moment in American history.
You realize what an extraordinary gift their memories are, and they bring back, intact and in a present sense, what happened.